Hello Cowboy Nation. Let's go to another round of Dallas Cowboys news. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like so you don't miss any news from your team. Former Cowboys WR Shades Jalen Hurts defends Dak Prescott in new post. The conversation about Dallas Cowboys QB Dak Prescott and Philadelphia Eagles QB Jalen Hurts continues to heat up. One of the latest volleys in the fight comes from former Cowboys and current Los Angeles Chargers WR Simi Fehoko. After the Cowboys took a 31-10 loss to the Buffalo Bills, the Eagles lost their lead against the Seattle Seahawks in MNF. One was a big loss, the other was losing to a starting QB Drew Lock. Neither Prescott nor Hurts inspired their performances. But after the Philadelphia game ended, Fehoko jumped on X to intervene. Fehoko was referring to Hurts' 2 interceptions against the Seahawks, which ranks him 12th on the year. He is also clearly referring to the media response after Prescott threw 5 INTs in his first 7 games. The Cowboys QB has thrown just 2 interceptions in the 7 games since. Some fans or players like Fehoko believe the treatment of the 2 QBs was different in terms of turnovers. And while Fehoko may be a Chargers player these days, he's still clearly paying attention to what's going on with Dallas and Prescott. Initially selected in the 5th round of the 2021 NFL Draft, Fehoko is currently in his 3rd campaign of his professional football career. However, his time in Los Angeles came after being cut by the Cowboys last offseason. Before his release, Fehoko made 10 appearances for Dallas in 2 years. After failing to record a receiving stat as a rookie, Fehoko earned his first receptions with 3 catches and 24 yards in 2021, according to Pro Football Reference. With the addition of Brandon Cooks and a larger role for Jalen Tolbert, Fehoko was released last August. The Pittsburgh Steelers claimed him off waivers, but he was never removed from the practice squad. Then, in late September, the Chargers signed Fehoko off the Steelers' practice squad. He has appeared in 6 games since then, catching 1 pass for 9 yards and 1 touchdown. The Cowboys are a perfect 7-0 at home. 6 of those 7 wins were by 3 points or more. It's been a different story on the road, as Buffalo's recent loss put the team at 3-4 away from Arlington, Texas. As Heavy's DJ Siddiqui covered it recently, Prescott talked about it after the loss to the Bills. It's an urgent thing that the Cowboys want to fix, but it's going to take a while to resolve. It's a big difference, and actually that's what the next few weeks are about, figuring out that difference and trying to bridge that gap, Prescott explained on Sunday. We want to go out and start like we do at home, but that hasn't been the case. We have to find out what those answers are. We can't be 2 different teams, winning at home against a good team last week and then coming here today and not being able to do anything in all 3 phases. And as Dallas enters a critical juncture, they face a tough road trip against the Miami Dolphins this coming weekend before facing the Detroit Lions at home and then another road trip to end the regular season against the Washington Commanders. Cowboys 2023 Rookie Report: Mazi Smith is one of the few to play well against the Bills. The Dallas Cowboys rookies didn't exactly play well in Buffalo. The Cowboys would lose again at some point, but did it have to be that bad? In a 31-10 loss that was worse than the final score indicated, few things went right for the Cowboys in this one. Almost no one can claim to have played well, but there were 2 players who received largely empty praise in this week's debut report. Mazi Smith has had a heavier workload than usual this week with Jonathan Hankins injured. Naturally, the fact that Dallas was completely hit by the run suggests that Smith played poorly in Hankins' absence. However, this is not the case, far from it, in fact. Smith ended up being one of the Cowboys' best defenders in this game, although it was a low bar. Smith played in 32 defensive snaps, easily setting a career high, and fared well against the run. He finished with 2 tackles and a run stop, but there wasn't much he was capable of doing on his own. As you can see, most of Buffalo's successful runs have come on plays where they run away from the interior, where Smith plays. I don't want to comment. Does Micah know of a blatant Dallas defensive loss? After the Buffalo Bills stripped the Dallas Cowboys defense, Micah Parsons didn't apologize. Earlier on Sunday, Chiefs kicker Harrison Butker missed a field goal, making Brandon Aubrey the only kicker to have made every field goal attempt this year. However, the concern became whether or not Aubrey would be able to extend his streak in wet conditions in Buffalo. Well, the good news is that Aubrey is still perfect, hitting on his only goal of the day. The bad news is that the team's performance as a whole was abysmal, making it harder to brag about Aubrey now being alone in this category. Still, Aubrey deserves all the credit in the world for how good he's been. The Cowboys are still recovering from their 31-10 loss to the Bills on Sunday afternoon in cold, wet Buffalo. Dallas dodged hot weather in mid-December in western New York but was unable to avoid the loss. Bills running back James Cook split Dan Quinn's defense for 179 yards on 25 carries as Buffalo's game plan was clear: attack the Dallas run defense. "To be honest, I don't even want to comment on what happened," he said. Cowboys Lions supporter Micah Parsons said. In all, Buffalo gained a total of 266 yards on the field against the Cowboys, the most the Cowboys have allowed since 2012. It's true that Dallas was without starting defensive tackle Jonathan Hankins, who was sidelined with an ankle injury, and that likely contributed to the Bills' 39 success when running the ball. I mean, Hank is important, but so was everyone else. I don't think it was just one individual, one thing in particular. It was a group effort, he said. Parsons added. A group effort? And maybe effort in general? The league may now have a recipe for beating the Cowboys after Sunday if it doesn't already. Each of Dallas' 4 season losses were to teams that were at least 7th or better in rushing offense. For everything the Cowboys' defense does well, sometimes it is unable to stop a good game. Dallas ranks 19th in the league in rushing yards allowed with 117.4 per contest. In those 4 losses, opponents gained a combined 767 rushing yards. Is there a quick fix? That's a question for defensive coordinator Dan Quinn as the Cowboys now prepare to face the Dolphins and Lions, the league's numbers 4 and 2, respectively, in rushing offense. If Dallas expects a long playoff run and success against playoff teams, Parsons, Quinn and company. And fast. Hunter Luepke didn't see an expanded role in this game, playing just 4 offensive snaps, but he was able to touch the ball again. Luepke made a play where he lined up as the only running back and made a handoff. Luepke picked up 3 yards and a first down, a good showing for a very limited role. Did you think of this news? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any news from your Dallas Cowboys. Thanks.